For 6 long years, a dog stayed behind the same metal bars while others got adopted. People walked by, volunteers cried for him, but no one took him home. Then one day, something amazing happened that no one expected, and it will touch your heart in a happy way. His name was Titan. He came to the shelter as a young German shepherd, strong, smart, and full of energy. That was 2,381 days ago. Now he was 8 years old and still waiting. Every morning, the workers opened the kennels to clean and feed the dogs. Every morning, Titan stood up, walked to the front of his cage, and sat, ears up, eyes looking, hoping someone would stop, see past his gray fur, and choose him. But no one did. The volunteers loved him. He was gentle and quiet. He didn't bark when people passed. He let kids pet him through the bars and stayed calm when other dogs got loud. He didn't beg, but week after week, year after year, people picked other dogs. They said he was too big, too old, too serious. Those words stuck, and so did he. A new volunteer named Sarah, who was 27, had been at the shelter for 2 months when she really saw him. Other dogs jumped and barked, but Titan just sat, back straight, eyes calm, watching. It wasn't that he looked sad. It was like he didn't think anyone would pick him anymore. One day, Sarah asked the shelter boss, Claire, "Why is he still here?" Claire sighed. "Titan's special. His owner died in a fire. He had no chip, no family. He's healthy and nice, but people don't want a dog who's waited so long. They think something's wrong with him." Sarah looked at Titan's kennel. He sat there, quiet, proud, alone. That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. She kept seeing Titan's tired eyes. She took her phone and wrote online, "This is Titan. He's been in a shelter for 6 years. No one has adopted him. Please share his story." She posted it and went to bed, not expecting much. By morning, 2,000 people shared it. By noon, 20,000. By night, big news channels wanted to talk about it. But the real surprise was who saw it next, and what they said when they called the shelter. The shelter was busy. Phones ringing, emails coming, volunteers whispering as they passed Titan's kennel, some smiling, some crying. The post went huge, with over 50,000 shares in a day. People from far away, like Washington, Oregon, and Canada, offered to take him. But one message stood out. Sarah stood with Claire, holding her phone, reading it aloud with a shaky voice. "I think that's my dog. His name was Rex. I've been looking for him for years. Please tell me it's him." James Carter. Claire asked, "Is it real?" Sarah showed photos James sent, pictures from 8 years ago before the fire. A young Titan running in snow, lying on a rug, sitting by a man with a beard and kind eyes. Same ears, same white spot under his chin, same steady look. "It's him," Claire said quietly. Sarah asked, "What now?" "We bring him here quick," Claire said. 2 days later, a silver SUV parked at the shelter. James stepped out, tired looking, maybe late 30s, in jeans and a flannel shirt, eyes wet before he even got to the door. He'd lost Rex when a fire burned his cabin. He was in the hospital for months. When he got out, Rex was gone. No one knew where. The shelter that took Rex closed, and the papers were lost. James thought Rex was gone forever. Then he saw Sarah's post and felt hope. Claire took him to Titan's kennel. The old dog was lying on a blanket, head on his paws. He looked up when he heard steps, then stopped moving. Sarah watched, holding her breath as James knelt by the bars. "Rex," he said softly. Titan blinked, tilted his head. The name woke something inside him. Then he stood, walked to the gate, and sat, like always. But now he looked at someone who knew him. James reached through, hands shaking, and touched Titan's face. The dog leaned in, made a little sound, and his tail wagged. Once, twice, then fast. Claire turned away, wiping her eyes. Sarah stood still, hands over her mouth. "I thought you were gone," James said, voice breaking. Titan pushed his nose into James's chest, smelling home. The first days home were peaceful. James lived in a small house outside Boulder, Colorado. Just a fireplace, a couch, and some old photos from a life that broke and was now fixed, with Rex's paws on the floor, water in a bowl, and a sigh before sleep. Rex picked the living room rug as his spot right away, like it was always his. James couldn't stop watching him, not in a clingy way, just amazed at how Rex moved, checked the room, and followed him quietly, making sure it was real. At night, James would wake up and see Rex by his bed, eyes open, breathing slow, watching over him. That afternoon, they signed the papers. No waiting, no questions. Everyone at the shelter, workers, volunteers, even people who saw the story online, lined up to say goodbye. Titan, now Rex again, walked next to James to the door, tail wagging, steps strong. At the door, he stopped, looked back at the hallway he'd been in for 6 years, then walked out into the sun, into freedom, into what he thought he'd lost. But the story didn't end. When he got home, Rex did something that shocked James, Sarah, and everyone who heard about it. One morning, after a walk by the creek, James drove to where his old cabin used to be, the first time since the fire. Rex sat in the back, calm but awake. As they got close, his ears went up, his eyes focused. The cabin was gone, just some old boards and moss, quiet and calm now. James got out, and so did Rex. But Rex didn't walk around. He stared at the trees. "Rex?" James said. The dog didn't move, just looked. Then he ran, not scared, but like he had a job. James yelled and ran after him through bushes to a spot by the creek. Rex stopped, ears moving. Then James heard it, crying. Under a fallen tree was a little girl, maybe 4 years old, muddy, jacket ripped, face red from cold and fear. Rex went to her slowly, tail wagging a little. She made a small sound, then touched him. Rex stayed still. James ran over, took off his jacket and said, "Hey, sweetie, you're okay now." She held on to Rex's fur and didn't talk. Later, James found out her name was Lily. She got lost the night before on a hike with her grandparents. The sheriff said she wouldn't have made it past dark. Your dog saved her. The news spread fast, faster than when Rex got adopted. Rex, who waited 6 years, was a hero, not trained for it, just led by something inside him, a chance he wouldn't let go. That night, by the fire, James looked at Rex lying next to him. "You weren't just waiting for a home, were you?" Rex looked back. "You were waiting for something big." Rex didn't bark or wag. He put his head on James's lap and closed his eyes. Some dogs don't just live through hard times, they get up and help others too. But there was more, because Sarah didn't forget Rex.
3 weeks after
and
Rex
what she
saved
wanted
Lily,
next would
Claire
Claire called
something.
James, excited. "Sarah's here. She wants to see Rex again." "Tell her to come any time," James said. Sarah came the next afternoon in jeans and a gray hoodie, eyes watery before she knocked. James opened the door. They didn't need to talk. Rex stood in the hall, ears up, head tilted, then walked to her and sat. Sarah knelt, hands shaky as she touched his ears. "Hey boy," she said. "I knew someone would pick you. I didn't know it'd be like this." Rex leaned into her, eyes closed, tail moving softly. James watched, feeling full. They sat for an hour. Sarah told stories, how she'd whisper to Rex at the shelter, "You're good. Keep going." She posted his picture that night not to get famous, but because she didn't want him to die there. Then she said, "I want to start something. For dogs like Rex, the ones no one picks, who wait years. I want him to help. James asked, how? Visits to schools, shelters, places where people can hear his story. It sticks with them. She stopped. It's a lot, but he's not just saved. He's here to show it's never too late. James looked at Rex, lying by Sarah's feet, looking up with soft eyes. He nodded. Okay, let's do it. Their first trip was to a school. Sarah and James told 200 kids about a dog who waited 6 years and saved a life. Rex lay by James's chair until a boy asked, how did he find her? James rubbed Rex's ear. He didn't know. He just kept believing someone needed him. The kids went quiet, then clapped. One, then all, then stood up for a dog who never gave up. The idea got bigger. Rex went to more schools, shelters, places for soldiers, courts, libraries. Always quiet, never pushy, showing. You're not too old, not too late, still wanted. But he hadn't gone back to the shelter where he waited. Now he would. Not as a stuck dog, but as a sign of hope. One morning, James drove to the shelter. The same place he first went, nervous if Titan, now Rex, would remember him. Today felt like a fresh start. Sarah waited by the door in her old volunteer shirt, name tag saying, Sarah T., volunteer since 2020. Rex jumped out, walking like he knew who he was. Not a number, not forgotten, but Rex, home, with a job. The shelter looked the same. Gray walls, clean smell, rows of kennels. But when Rex walked in, the other dogs' tails wagged like they felt something new. Claire came out with a clipboard and a tissue. I knew I'd cry, she laughed, teary, touching her head to Rex's. You did it, boy. You made them believe. They had a surprise. Sarah took them to Rex's old kennel. It was now a glass case with a sign. Titan, now Rex. He waited 6 years, then changed lives. Inside were pictures. Rex in his cage, on the news, with Lily, at schools, with James. In the middle was his old tag, Cage, a 12. Sarah gave him a new one. Ambassador Rex, from shelter dog to hope giver. James put it on Rex's collar. Rex sat by the case, calm, as people, kids, adopters, stopped, read, waved, cried. It wasn't a jail anymore, it was a start, and Rex showed it. Later, while Sarah talked to everyone, Rex got up, left James, and sat by a kennel. Inside was a shy dog, Jasper, who'd been sent back twice. Rex waited, still. Soon, Jasper came close and put his paw on the gate, like Rex did for Sarah once. Claire said, he picked the next one. By night, Rex was in the truck, head on the armrest. Ready to go? James asked. Rex's tail tapped once. Yes. That night, Sarah posted. He came back to show it can happen. It got 1 million views fast, bringing money and homes for waiting dogs, because one dog made waiting matter. But Rex had one more trip, to where he was born, where he almost ended. One quiet Sunday, James pulled out an old envelope with the fire report, an address circled, 781 Franklin Hill Road, his lost cabin. They drove an hour, Rex's nose at the window, tail up. The spot was empty now, just some stones, a bent chimney, smelling of trees and old fire. I thought you died here, James said, kneeling. Rex sat, then walked to some bushes, finding an old shed. Inside, under junk, was a melted blue ball. Rex touched it, lay down. James sat with him. You lived through this and became more than I thought. Rex sighed, leaning on him, letting go of something old. The next day, James and Sarah bought the land, not for a house, but for Rex's haven, a free place for old shelter dogs, even if no one took them. People helped fix it. Kids wrote Rex thank yous for saving Lily, for waiting, for showing everyone matters. Before it started, James asked, "Ready to let others rest where you hurt?" Rex leaned on him, eyes shut, not for Rex, but for someone who loved him. A letter arrived, to whoever has Rex, with a photo. Rex as a pup, licking a girl's face. His name was Scout. Dad gave him to me at 10. We were best friends for 2 years. Then my parents split. We lost the house, I lost Scout. Seeing him on TV, I knew. I don't need him back, just to know he's okay. Thank you. Lila. More letters came, from workers, a man who skipped Rex years ago, Lily's mom, who read to shelter dogs now. They all said Rex changed them. Then Sarah brought a book, The Dog Who Waited by Sarah and Rex, a kid's story. Sometimes the dog you miss saves you later. That weekend, Rex's haven opened. Kids ran, old dogs rested. A sign said, Rex waited 6 years. Now, no dog waits alone. Rex sat by it, complete. That night, James said, I thought I saved you, but you saved me. 3 weeks later, Rex went quietly. No hurt, just a breath. A life that gave so much. His story kept going. Rex's haven grew. Sarah's book went to schools. More dogs got homes. James sat on his porch every day, not sad, but thankful. Rex showed everyone. You're never too old, too hurt, too lost to be a hero. If this moves you, every shelter dog waits for their turn. Share it. Let's make sure no dog waits forever.